welcome back. It's the early morning Sunday show being filmed on a Friday, but pretending it's on Sunday. Hope you can't tell. I know it doesn't really look like Sunday in here. I don't have my Sunday decorations, but yeah, it's my speech contest. So I'm not around this weekend. And yeah, hopefully that's going well and I remember what the hell I'm doing. So cheers and welcome. The opening was at the Stanley Hotel. It's in Estes Park, Colorado. And for those of you that are movie buffs, so you don't even really have to be a movie buff, you look at that and you go, hey, isn't that where The Shining was? And it is. It is the inspiration of The Shining. And I've been meaning to get there, and finally we were there. We went up to look at, just to spend a day at Rocky Mountain National Park before all the tourists get there. And we went in and checked out the Stanley Hotel. Very cool place, very enjoyable. So yeah, there you go. That's it. Check that off the bucket list. We got that done. Okay. Not a lot happening. I just didn't even have one of my Tuesday shows. Too busy. I'm having oh God, it's stress. And I'm glad I said I was going to retire and not have stress anymore. So yeah, that's working out really good for me. But music keeps us happy. Music keeps us going. And I actually haven't had a lot come in lately because I've been behaving better. Not very. I mean, I still fall off the wagon, but better. Oh, but let's get going here. There is a lot to do, and I want to get through it. And who knows which way I'll go with stuff. But the first one, I watched Sam, the Vinyl Douche. He showed this album, sample I really, really liked, so I went out and got it. It's called Grinding Eyes, Out of Focus, Grinding Eyes. They are out of Sydney, Australia. And this is it's a band. This is their third album, very, very clear. And kind of a psych rock trio with a healthy dose of shoegaze. Yes. They're all the rage in Australia. Mike Rankin, you can tell me if I'm wrong on that, and maybe they're not, but this was really enjoyable. Again, I'd heard it on the Vinyl Douches, and I'd pick it up. His channel really does a great job at showcasing new music. This is packed with a lot of droney guitars, and there's just this phase drumming going on. It really paints these dark soundscapes with shoegaze and psych, and maybe a tinge of goth thrown in just for fun. There was a couple songs like the very first one, the opener, that in the Reflection, I liked. It was a sprawling opener that I'll give a sample of. And then what was another one there? We Move Slowly. I think I'll drop a sample of that one too. It had almost like a little bit of a pop hook buried in there, but this thing's noisy. I mean, there's just a lot happening for a three-piece band. It always kind of blows my mind. The album rocks really, really hard, and there's just this loud. It's just loud with thunderous, fuzzy guitar going on, and pounding drums. And if you like drone, there's buckets and buckets of drone. I mean, it's just it's in there. So really, yeah, a pretty neat album. It's not for everyone, I don't think. I think I could feel safe in saying this, but Grinding Eyes, Out of Focus, brand new this year. doing their Record Store Day album because I have a lot of them to show. So we show one a week, maybe more. And this is Chrissy Temby Zembo. This was high on my list. He is the drummer for the Ngozi family. And the Ngozi family is one of the premier Zamrock families. Now, I've seen a lot of people showing this one, and for good reason. It was a really good album. Is it the best Zamrock album? I would say it's not. But it had, oh, isn't that a neat label? Really nice now and again. But it really, it still has that traditional Zamrock sound that I think more and more people are finding about and listening and enjoying. And that's not going to go in there nicely. It did come, this one came with a book. And this is kind of, it's just about, this is like Zamrock 101. And so this is kind of common. I've seen this in other albums, books. There was no new material in here, but if you don't know much about Zamrock, it's a very interesting and can kind of get you up on what's going on. Does it talk a lot about tembo? No, it doesn't. But that's okay. It's more about Ngozi and Ricky Iliganga and some of the other key players of this. But this Tembo, born in '55, I don't know if he's still alive or not. In 1970, he was in a band called, the drummer was called the Scorpions. And he was the drummer for the Scorpions. The Scorpions became the year before, and then they became the Ngozi family, which is a major player of. I'm Not Made of Iron is what this was. This was a promotional only album. And this first release was on Record Store Day. So that really importance of this album is the excitement of it on Record Store Day. It had never been put out commercially. It's filled with fuzzy, distorted guitars. There's a lot of pounding drums. And but it's more straight ahead. You know, some of these have almost like this Hendrix vibe going on with the guitars and the absolute, you know, incredible distortion. This is more straight ahead rock and roll, I thought. They don't have the extra percussion that sometimes you get, more the African percussion, throwing in kind of that beat and that groove. You know, because this is a three-piece band. It's a mix of folk rock, but they also add in Zambian folklore into it. The lyrics are mostly sung in English, but they're also sung in Tumbuka and Nyanja. You know I hit that one right. You just know I just slayed those two words and have them absolutely pronounced correct. So, yes, this is you know, something that would not have been in my collection and haven't been for Record Store Day, so it's really, really nice. The Zamrock, I'm getting a pretty solid collection of this stuff, and I'm really happy about it. Really, you know, kind of decided, you know, the originals, you know, they're okay, but how am I going to sell them eventually? And, you know, this is easier to listen to. Good stuff. Good stuff. From Record Store Day. Two Campervan Beethovens. And this is an original. This is a second press. I did not get this on Record Store Day. I thought they were going to, I wasn't going to be able to get it on Record Store Day. This would be sold out. I was wrong. I did find it out there, but I went out and I got a second press of this. So, Campervan Beethoven, out of California, formed in 1983, broke up in 1990. They did 5 albums, and they are kind of a quirky, merging punk with folk, with ska and world music. Here's a title. Let's call it Surrealist Absurdist Folk. Yes, I'm going to stick with that one, okay? This is the first album they produced. This is the fifth album that they produced. So we have the Alpha and we have the Omega here. David Lowery, he's the singer, guitarist. He has a very dry sense of humor and almost like a Valley Boy type voice going on, but he is from California. Telephone-free landslide. We'll start with this. It's a second press. We see this, the first one, and even the one on Record Store Day had this really funny warning label there. Second press does not have that warning label. This is still in the shrink. Absolutely beautiful condition. There's the label, and it comes with a poster or flyer or something. I don't even know really what you call that. It's in there. It's in very beautiful shape. And yeah, just kind of talks about it, who they are. So that is, the inner sleeve was just a plastic. So that's what you get. Yeah, I believe the Record Store Day did that too. So this came out in 1985, and as I said, it was their very first LP. And this actually, achieved cult status because it had not really a hit, but I'm sure it was on MTV, Take the Skinheads Bowling, which is hilarious. It's so well done. I'm dropping you a sample. I'm giving you the popular stuff on these. But he also he talks about Mao on here. Where there's paid vacation in Greece. Where the hell is Bill? This one, the day that Lassie went to the moon, and oh my God, he has a song about Mao. Oh yeah, Mao reminisces about his days in southern China. I mean, this is what you get. Opie rides again. Club Med sucks. Yeah. There's just a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor in this. It's pretty funny. Take the Skinheads Bowling is an absolute classic. Yeah, so very first album, self-titled, Camper Von Beethoven. Then their fifth album was Key Lime Pie. This was my introduction to them when this came out. It came out in 1989. So this is toward the end of vinyl in the U.S., and I did purchase it at that time. I was able to get it. Here is the inner sleeve. Very nicely done. There had been some lineup changes done on here. They got a new violinist for this. And I think that's all I see in there. And so, things were changing up. This was high on my list. Here's the original that I had, and I'd saved after the flood, so I had that. This was one I have been looking for since I've started the rebuild. It was very, very, very hard to find. Very hard. And finally, there it was in a store. So, really happy to get this one. It came out in 89, I said. This is more straight ahead rock. You can see Lowery moving into his Cracker phase. When he formed the group Cracker. They actually broke up during the tour for this, when they were touring this album. It's very good. He has a new violinist. She sounds great on here. Margot Fitcher, and I believe she played a lot with 10,000 Maniacs and some other groups. This is definitely a more mature band. A lot of the tongue-in-cheek stuff is gone. It's not on here. But one of my favorites on here was Pictures of Matchstick Men that I thought they did. I didn't know Status Quo did it back in 1989. Didn't know who the Status Quo was. But the fact is, it was done by Status Quo. But I love their version. The violin's beautiful on there. It has these pounding drums and great guitars. So I just very, very happy to get this thing back, because this was a big on what I really wanted to have brought back into my collection. So, 2 from Camper Von Beethoven. I have 1 or 2 others of their albums over there. These are the 2, though. Those definitely the 2 that I need to have. On my lawn. Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling. Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling. Some people say that bowling alleys
traffic lanes. Some people say that bowling alleys all look the same.
All right, let's go back a ways. When Dave, local bandography, came out to visit me. Well, actually, before we even talk about Dave, I want to give out a shout out and a thank you here to DJ Trish. DJ Trish out of the Jersey Shore, the queen of the Jersey Shore. Her videos she takes you around the Jersey Shore that you can see it. Like almost like little just daily documentaries of what's going on. But she also does this DJing, and her musical taste is more eclectic than mine. She has stuff of everything, and so she does Trish out of the Jersey Shore, the queen of the Jersey Shore. Her videos she takes you around the Jersey Shore that you can see it. Like almost like little just daily documentaries of what's going on. But she also does this DJing, and her musical taste is more eclectic than mine. She has stuff of everything, and so she does these sample CDs, and she's always been very nice and has always given me a lot of these. You know, when I lost all my Christmas music, her sample CDs was my only Christmas music I had. It was really good. But she had this one here. This is called Midwinter. And we have such groups on here as Boney M, the Duprees, Nat King Cole, Nick Leiter, O.C. Smith, the Monkees are on here, Bobby Sherman. Well, you're pushing me on that one there, Trish. Pilot is on here. Ho, 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 it's magic. Isley Brothers, Ventures, and many more. Very nice. The other one is called Dancing in the Dunes. Dancing in the Dunes. And this has Brian Seltzer Orchestra, the Dandeliers, Dionne Warwick, the Dramatics, Earth, Wind & Fire, Femi Kuti, Jelly Bean, the Meters, Nancy Sinatra, the Clash, the Blondie, the Channels. This gal, Trish, goes all over the place. It's what makes these fun. They're very, very eclectic, very interesting. We have, oh, come on here, come on. I got lots of stickers here, and I won't go through them all, but she always shares these stickers from local businesses and things that she gets, that she sends out to everybody, which is really good. And hello, Steve's. Greetings from the Jersey Shore. Here's some VCLT for you. Midwinter 2025 is made mostly from tracks I took for a case. She found a case of oldies and underneath her bed. In February, so she made that. Then there was Dancing in the Dunes, and that's taken from the title of an article I saw in an old magazine. I thought it was a cool title for the mix. So yeah, and that's all the stickers and that. So DJ Trish, please check out her channel. She's just a wonderful person, very nice, very just yeah, a good person, a good soul. You know, it's the kind of people we love to have in the VC. So thank you, DJ. All right, we're going to move into this next group, 100 Flowers. So when Dave, local bandography, was out here, he saw this and says, you need to get this. And so he talked me into it. So here's how it goes. This is like a little folder for school there, right? And 100 Flowers, actually, is the group's their main name is called the Urinals. And they're out of L.A., and they were 78 to 1983. And then they reformed in 96. As far as I know, they're still going. Kind of punk, post-punk type band. Actually, when they started, they were a punk parody band, and they started at UCLA. They didn't know how to play their instruments. They only knew 2 chords, but they just kept going, and they kept trying to develop their music. this is an EP they put out in '84. Now remember, originally they broke up by this came out in '84. They've broken up, I guess. Must have been some of their songs that they put out. It's very good. This is really good. It is a really good showcase to me of what post-punk can be about. Songs like Bunkers that they fill in with all kinds of different found sounds they had out there. You know, it's just rocking along, but they throw in all these different kind of sounds. They're having some fun with it. You have Long Arm of Social Sciences, that is an instrumental that has just some wonderful guitar playing. They'd really learned how to play their instruments. This album moves along very quickly, and just it's packed with energy. And I think I would label it as art thrash. Yeah, there's my next new label. I've given you surrealist, absurdist, folk, maybe art thrash. Yeah, you can figure out whatever that means. More to go here. We have Modest Mouse. Something go flying, I don't know. Modest Mouse. And this was from Vinyl Me Please. Lord knows when I had this. It's been sitting in my pile for quite some time. Vinyl Me Please, of course, has not really bankruptcy, but basically they're going under. Everyone was sending me this notification about Vinyl Me Please going under. And my subscription was to be renewed on May 1st. So April 30th, I dropped out of Vinyl Me Please. I still have $32 in credit. I'll get over that because it was over $500 and I did get my records. There's a lot of people that are not in that credit. They're screwed. But that's, if you watch my podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records on Sunday night, Jim and I are going to talk about that, along with some other interesting news items. So please check that out. Two Guys Talking About Records, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Facebook, and YouTube at Radio Wasteland Records. Okay, got that one in. So Modest Mouse, formed in '93 out of Washington, I believe. So, you know, you have all this grunge going on, and then you have Modest Mouse. It's indie rock, alt rock. Isaac Brock, he's the singer guitarist. He's the only original member still in the band, and they've only done 7 albums. I remember when one of them came out, it was The Moon in Antarctica. Critics loved it. I bought the CD. It wasn't bad, but it really solidified this group. This is their second album, though, The Lonesome Crowded West, and this came out in '97. And it's kind of a... it has almost like, I would say, these kind of strange riffs with, I don't know, just the way they bend the strings, the sounds that they make off the guitar are very different. There's also a lot of whammy bar tremolo in there. There is an intensity in here. The vocals oftentimes are shouted, but it's kind of this whisper-scream dynamic, really kind of quiet vocal, and then we're screaming the vocals. Really different. There was one song in here, Cowboy Dan. I'm going to drop just a sample of that. But it's like a folkloric tale of a cowboy who tries to shoot down God as revenge for mortality. I mean, who comes up with that? I mean, it's like, okay, well, all right, interesting. Very quirky lyrics. And there's a lot of focus on travel and urban paranoia. That's what you're getting. Yeah, you know what? Not bad, but it's not one I'm going to play a lot. So blue vinyl, it's a 2-album set. Let's see, the other one has purple. Was that one purple? Did I get my colors all? Oh, they're the same thing. They're both kind of bluey purple. Bluey purple. Well, there. So, yeah, Modest Mouse. Okay. Yeah. If I may sell it and eventually hear purge it. Can't get that and turn over. Can't do it, not even one is Charles Bradley. Vinyl Me Please. So there's a number of Vinyl Me Please in here. Victim of Love. And Charles Bradley out of Gainesville, Florida, born in 48, passed in 2017. And he's also been called, what do they call him? The Screaming Eagle of Soul. Black Velvet, he's been called. But, you know, when he was 8 months old, his mom abandoned him, and his grandmother took care of him. But at age 8, his mom picked him back up, took him to Brooklyn. And life was not good. He lived in the basement, and he lived inside a room. The floor was made of sand. And so, cool vinyl, though, isn't it? Really neat vinyl. That's pretty neat. So by age 14, he ran away, and he was living on the streets. And on the streets, he was sleeping in the subways. And he did that for a couple years. Eventually, he's made his way to Maine, where he took up a job as a cook. Everyone kept saying, "You look like James Brown. You look like James Brown." And in 1962, he actually saw James Brown. He saw James Brown in concert, and it inspired him. So he knew his James Brown moves and how to sing. Eventually, he moved out to LA, and he became a James Brown impersonator. And that's when he called himself Black Velvet. Well, again, he was born in 48, so he's been doing this, really not making money. 2002, he was noticed by Daptone. And in 2011, he put out his debut album. This is his second album that came out in 2013, and Victim of Love. So, you know, first album came out in 2011. He died in 2017. He had 6 years where he was really noticed. This is Southern soul music at its best. It is kind of like Stax, Muscle Shoals. That's the feel you get with it. He has a gritty voice, but it's filled with this heart-wrenching emotion. He really has a lot of that. There is some funk in here, like Where Do You Go From Here has a little bit of a funky sound. What was the other song on here? Oh man, now I can't find it. Oh, because it's hidden behind that OP strip. But this has the feels of the 60s. 60s soul is what you're getting on here. It's very, very nice. He has a very soulful voice. This is something I listen to a lot. No, it's not Otis Redding, but he does a nice job with the songs, and he really belts them out. So Charles Bradley, Victim of Love. I know it looks like, that you can. It just looks like Harles, but there is a C, so it's not sure. There we go.
I'm tired of the city people trying to get in my business to please you. I know, baby, we gotta get on through and go somewhere.
All right, that's all we got. That's it. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see what the next week brings for, I don't have any videos planned for next week, but we'll get it all worked out. So appreciate you, everyone, always watching, and have yourself a great week. Bye.